Hi, cutie pies. I am Lanikia, and you are watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Days of Our Lives edition. All right, today is Friday. Yay! December the 1st, 2023. Can y'all believe it? This month went by, this year, excuse me, went by so fast. We're already in December. I hope you guys have a blessed month and to close out the year. All right, let's get into it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We see Johnny and Chanel. Okay, so Johnny and Chanel, why is this doing this? Stop it. So we see Johnny and Chanel are having breakfast at the pub. And so they're just catching up on everything with each other. They're happy to be doing this. He says, because you work at a bakery, we never really get to sit down and have breakfast. And she said, well, we can start doing this more. But she was like, you love Sweet Bits. He says he does. But now that she's hired help to replace Talia, it's nice for them to, be able to take some time for each other. So they're enjoying themselves. And then she brings up the fact because she sees this bracelet on his arm. And she's like, where you get that? And he says that he received it from, what's her name? Holly. And she was like, so you still are trying to believe that Holly doesn't have any feelings for you? And he's like, Chanel, no. I told you it was my dad. And Chanel was like, okay, child. Johnny wants to be like naive. Let him be, girl. So then we see that Tate comes in and he tells them, because he overhears them and he says, I'm sorry to bring this up. Hold on, guys. I need to swallow. He says he hates to have eavesdrop, but he can tell them that she definitely doesn't want EJ our Johnny, she's into someone else. He knows her deepest, darkest secrets and everything. So Tate starts the process of splitting up Johnny and Chanel. So he tells Chanel that they thank him for that and everything. But then he tells Chanel, could he work at her bakery because he's trying his Roman is gonna have him paying off this debt forever. And he's not trying to do that. So he needs more money so he can pay the school back. And she said, yeah. And he said, can we get an application now? I'm just really excited. And Johnny is like, well, we haven't even eaten, Tate. We haven't had breakfast. And so Chanel was like, well, we haven't. Go ahead and order for me. I'm going to run over, give him the application, and then come right back. And he was like, okay, sounds like a plan. So Tate leaves right with Chanel. And so they're together and he's talking to her, going over things. Um, and everything. She gives him the application and it's all good, right? So then, she's like, okay, you have that, fill it out, and then I'll come back. Then you can drop it off later. And he was like, no, wait, you can't go yet. And she was like, why not? I guess we'll pick back up on that Monday. So then we see Miss Holly over here. So she's thinking about Johnny and all that kind of stuff. And then she's like, girl, focus. Your mama's going through it right now. I said, and she is. You do need to focus. And she was like, I am. So then she calls Eric and she lets Eric know, do you still want to do this DNA testing? And he said, no, I'm willing to do everything to help your mom. I just have to tell Sloan about it. So at this point, Sloan comes in and he gets off the phone with Holly. So we see that Nicole and EJ are talking, right? Because she's telling him uh he's telling her he's going to go down and prosecute Leo because they're going to get some revenge on their baby. Some kind of way, some kind of how he's going to do it. And so when that happens, she tells him, I'm sorry about everything as far as the baby and thinking Sloan's and Eric's baby was her baby. And he said, but you're over that now. And she reassures him, Nicole is not over it. And that's exactly what she tells Holly. And Holly said, well, I have some good news for you. And she was like, what? We're going to do a DNA. I talked to Eric and he's going to do a DNA test. And Nicole was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I knew you believe me. And it's not that Holly believes her. She just wants to get her mom. She just thinks Nicole's going to see these results and snap out of it. So that's why she's really doing this. So they're telling her, she says, this toothbrush should be enough, right? Days. I know. Y'all know I'm famous for saying, I mean, days is days and it's days, y'all. But let's move on. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. She said, this toothbrush will be enough, right? All right, girl. You go. Okay. And so at this point, Holly was going to take the toothbrush down, but then she gets a text from Tate telling her Johnny's at the pub alone. He distracted Chanel, and she says, something came up, but and Nicole says, "Don't worry about it. I'll go down and turn this toothbrush in for the DNA testing." And Holly said, "You sure?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Girl, go on over here and try to get with Johnny." And so that's exactly what she does. She goes over there and she's talking to Johnny, and he's like, "Holly," and she says, "Oh, I'm funny running into you here." Okay, girl. And so she sits down and she says, "I have something to tell you." And now Johnny is starting to feel uncomfortable because Chanel has really got to him that Holly likes you, sir. She likes you. You're not just her stepbrother. She likes you like she wants you to be her man. And so he's like, "What you mean?" And so she tells him about Nicole, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's real sad." And she tells him that she came up with a plan to do the DNA testing and everything, and I guess they'll pick up on that Monday. So that's it with them, y'all. So then we go over here to Eric and Sloan. Now remember, I told you that Eric was on the phone with Holly, and he was telling her, "I have to ask Nicole." So Nicole comes in and she's like, "Ask me what?" Now Nicole Sloan comes in and she's like, "Ask me what?" And Sloan is a little bit distracted because as she's talking to Eric, Dimitri hits her up. Now, Dimitri is upset because he said, "Wait a minute, Sloan stood in this room right here and told me that they were dropping the charges against Leo. So why do I see that he has a hearing this morning? What is going on?" So he's texting Sloan like, "Get yourself together because I'm about to tell Nicole that baby is hers because you sat over here and you lied to me." Now, mm-mm. And so Sloan is not really, she doesn't have time for Eric because she got fires burning and she got to go put them out. I said, "Get Melinda. Where's Melinda? Where's your friend? Because you can't do this on your, like, listen, I do not like the fact that Sloan is doing this, but girl, if you're going to do it right. Get these lies together." And so she's talking to Eric and he's trying to tell her, and she said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Because he's like, "Well, Holly wanted me to talk to you, and it's about the baby and Nicole and finding out a way to convince Nicole this baby isn't hers." And she said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever you need to do, go ahead and do it. I got to go. I got to go because, my client Leo." Yeah. And he was like, Okay." And so she leaves, right? And so then she goes over to Dimitri and he says, "You told me that the judge was going to dismiss these charges and Leo was going to be free." She says, "Well, I'm waiting on the judge to reply. I already put in for the dismissal of the court case and everything." And he said, "That was not the plan, Sloan. You lied to me. I'm about to call Nicole." So he calls Nicole, right? This is before Holly had left. He calls Nicole and he said, "Nicole is Dimitri." And he was about to tell her, but Sloan cuts the phone off. She grabs the phone and cuts it off. And she said, "Listen, the judge, I got a message and a voicemail. This is probably the judge right now saying that the case has been dismissed, right? This is probably the judge right now saying that." And so he was like, "Okay, then, okay." What did the judge say? So then we go over here to Leo and Dimitri. Stay with me, y'all. There was a lot of moving around. So we go over here to Leo and Dimitri. And so Dimitri, did I say Dimitri? I'm sorry, y'all. Leo and EJ. This is a good picture of EJ to me. But anyways, he's talking to Leo and Leo said, "I'm not talking to you without my lawyer." He says, "That's fine. You don't have to." I said, "Can they talk to you if your lawyer's not present?" It's days, y'all. Let's keep moving. So he's telling him all the reasons why he's gonna put him away, and Leo tells him, "I'm sorry about your baby, but I didn't have anything to do with that. That baby was fine when I left. When Dimitri left with the baby, and I stayed with Nicole. Doesn't that count for anything?" And he said, Leo wants some kind of sympathy for EJ. And I said, "Baby, from EJ." And I said, "You are not going to get that from this man. His child is dead. The child he thought was his. Baby, if EJ finds out that is Nicole's baby, but if he finds out it's Eric's, will he tell y'all? Y'all been watching it longer than me. Based on what you know about EJ, would he tell Nicole? Or would he hide it and continue to let her think her baby had died so that he could keep Nicole? I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Anyways, EJ really is the ally that Sloan needs that she doesn't have. Honestly, he is. But anyways, child, let's move on. So he's not getting any sympathy, and he's telling him like, well, Lady Whistleblower is very popular, and the people, a court of public opinion, I'm just a man in love who got done wrong, and they are on my side, and they will be calling for you to be fired from my former boss, Mayor Price. And he just said, you're delusional. He said, no, the Free Britney Spears movement, it'll be bigger than that. And I want to be like what EJ is saying is true. Like you are delusional, but y'all, we've seen crazy stuff happen. Like we've seen it where it common sense would be that oh Leo's dirty, he's wrong and all of that. But we've seen in just the public opinion about someone who will do something so wrong, and people will listen. People want will write love letters to serial killers. Like they do this. They fall in love with them and everything. Come on, y'all. All right, let's keep on moving. So, anyways, he's like, please, what's gonna happen is that you are going to go to trial, and Leo's like, my lawyer said she would get this off, so they get a call from the judge, and she was not able. He said, okay, thank you, judge, I'll see you later, and he was not able to get the charges all dismissed. So they are going to court. I mean, Sloan was not. So then Sloan, we go back to Sloan, and she gets the call, listens to the voicemail, and she says, I'm sorry, Dimitri. It's going to court. And he says, oh, I'm telling the call. I'm telling. And she said, no, you're not going to tell him. Baby, Sloan was thinking quick. She was she was out of breath. She was putting that together for Dimitri. She said, you can't. He said he's going to be charged with murder. She said it doesn't even matter because you still got Leo involved in a lot of stuff. And Leo and went down to that jailhouse and confessed the stuff that he's done to help you. He's going to go to prison, maybe even for life. The only way we can fix this is if you turn yourself in. So tell me, how much does Leo mean to you? I said, baby, Sloan was thinking fast, and she worked her way right on into Dimitri's head and convinced this man that he needed to turn himself in to keep the baby with Sloan and to get Leo out, because she was like, no, it don't matter if this baby go to Nicole or not, Leo's still gonna be in prison. And so he's not even worried about telling about the baby anymore. He's going to turn himself in so that Leo can get out, and Sloan gets to keep on keeping the secret of her and this baby. So then EJ was talking to Leo, and Sloan, he says, your boyfriend not even here. Nobody cares about you, Leo. So all those Lady Whistleblower fans are going to leave once they found out you murdered a child. And so then that's when Sloan comes into the building, and she says, oh, AJ, that is not true. Dimitri cares about Leo, and he wants to turn himself in, but on the condition that you let Leo go free. And that's how it ended with them guys. So then we see Dimitri. He's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And he's looking at that ghost picture that they took in the booth, in that picture booth. And he's looking at that picture, and he's like, I can't believe I'm in love with somebody like this, that I would turn myself in to save them, right? And so then he's just like, but I love this man. What song is that? Anyways, he's like, but I love this man, so I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm gonna turn myself in. And then he gets a knock on the door. He said, "Now who could that be?" I said, "Who could it be? Don't tell me, because I know y'all be watching spoilers and you watch for the next week's episodes and stuff. I don't like to. I don't like to. Don't tell me. Thank you." So then the next thing we see, um, Eric and Kayla, and that's it with them, y'all. So Eric and Kayla are getting the DNA test, and they said Nicole or EJ should be on the way or whatever, to get the testing done. And I said, can't Eric just test the baby and be on his way? It's days, y'all. So then Nicole comes in, and she's like, I'm here. Why does girl give Kayla a toothbrush? No, Days. Uh-uh. You don't get to I'm not making an excuse for you that it's Days. Why? Why? Why is there a tooth? Why did she give the toothbrush when she is in there and you could have swabbed her cheek? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Y'all don't get the excuse of, oh, well, y'all know it's Days. Now, sometimes y'all just don't do right. And I know what y'all doing. You're setting this up for the toothbrush to be swapped. But I'm just saying, it just don't. It makes no. Y'all have done this DNA testing so wrong from the very beginning when you had Sloan, Eric come to the hospital and Sloan still turned in that swab where she had swabbed her mouth. And Eric was at the hospital and could have took another. Come on, y'all. Come on, Days. Now, I'm with you when you're right, but I'm not with you when you're just. I'm not. Come. Okay, let's move on. So Nicole is in here and she's like, "Oh my gosh, can I see the baby?" And Eric's like, "He's sleeping," and she was like, "I won't wake him." And so she started talking to the baby, and Kayla and Eric are like, "Oh, child, she just gone." She's like, "Oh, you're so precious. I'm sorry you had to come down here for this testing and everything." And so Kayla's like, okay, because Nicole said, "Will this toothbrush working?" And she was like, "Yes." And so she takes the toothbrush with Eric. Eric has the sample with the baby, and they're going off to. She said, "I'll have it back in an hour." I said, "Dang, you can do DNA testing in an hour?" I didn't know that, but she says, "I'll have it back." I mean, I, I didn't know that, but she says, "I'll have it back in an hour, so you guys can wait here." So then Eric and Nicole are alone, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to find out that this is my baby." And Eric looks at her like, child. And that was it, y'all. That was Days of Our Lives today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It is the week.
I'm about to have proof that this is my baby.